about creating your online brand. Now, a lot of people think online brand is quite a complicated thing, but it really isn't, because what the brand is you. You are the brand. Tanya's her brand, I'm my brand, and your brand is you. Because really we're all individuals, we've all got life stories, we've got all backgrounds. And so what we're doing is just sharing with the world about us. And really, in this day and age, we are so blessed with social media, because not only do we just get to also connect with other people, but we can make an impact, inspire, motivate, educate other people globally. Like we can hit the masses. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it really is, and it really works.
It really does work. And especially when we're talking about, we can talk it's about life as well, and having fun and enjoyment online with your brand, but also business. It's so powerful. Like I see Tanya up there all the time doing her lives on stories. Everybody's getting to know who we are at the core of who we are. They're getting to know our vulnerabilities, our struggles. And, it's like being of service. That's how I think of it. Like it's not to be something to be feared, it's something to sort of nurture about ourselves and know that we can be of service by sharing our vulnerabilities, our struggles, our joy, our life with others, and make an impact on them. And how amazing is that? It really is a blessing. And so a lot of us hold though fear, don't we? Big fears about social media, especially when we've got to get on and do live streams. Like tonight, I was just saying to Tanya, I don't know whether I'm feeling it tonight, but here we are, and I'm still warbling on. And
We just go with the flow.
Go with the flow. And that's right. And so, at the end of the day, if we give permission to people to be vulnerable themselves, like, if we're game enough to get out there, then we give them permission to be able to do the same. And it encourages people and helps them to get through that fear. So I've got some notes here, so don't mind me looking at them, because that's a part of me not being perfect. So it does come natural to some people, but bulk of us have to learn it. And that's what we were talking about last week, weren't we, Tanya, about the Freedom Era platform. If you weren't on that, go back and have a listen, because there are a lot of things out there, but I really love this academy and this training, social media training platform, because it gives us easy steps and step-by-step processes, but it just gives all these masterclasses and tutorials and helps you to really understand social media and how to utilize it best for yourself and what you're doing for your audience. So Tanya, I think it's got it in the background there somewhere. We'll just have a quick little look at that before we go on.
Absolutely. I'm going to pull that one up. Where to go? I'm just trying to find
it. We just need to be willing to be ourselves, really, and know that we're helping other people. And then we pivot from fear into compassion and joy.
Absolutely. So I just want to check, are you seeing the Asher Hearn one there?
Yep.
So inside the academy, we have quite a few amazing entrepreneurs from all around the world that come in and really help break down everything from creating authentic branding. And Ash does some amazing collateral training. And this one actually goes for an hour and a half. And she takes you through everything on your social media and talks to you about that. And this is where I started, and just following it. I had no idea what personal branding was. We always think that branding is about owning a business. It's the shop front, it's the logo, it's this, it's that. But even when we take a traditional shop owner into this and teach them the online space personal branding, it's a whole different realm. And one of the things we can do is always teach people very much around content branding and understanding that is you. You are the person that people connect to and that kind of stuff. So we talk to you around you're the brand. Whether you're a person that likes to verbal diarrhea vomit on social media, that is your branding, and that is your way of things. I like to be dressed quirky and do different things. So, you know, mine's very different. But the great part about it is they teach you everything to where to start, how to do it, and then find things that you're comfortable talking about and then extend out from there. So, you know, there's so many different training modules in here that will take you through all of that, which is just what I love because it took me through all the different step-by-step processes on how simple it was that branding just gets to be you. And as you grow and as you learn, you keep changing. And then as it keeps changing, people keep noticing on your social media page. And then they go, what are you doing? How are you learning this? Whereas a lot of people are spending a lot of time on YouTube videos and really are spending hours and days and weeks on YouTube videos and still getting nowhere. But what if you could come to the one place that takes you through the step-by-step process on how to do it really, really well right from the start and just takes you through a nice learning curve in there that is simple and it's easy. And the longer you keep going, so I've been doing it 5 years going on 6 now, my branding keeps changing all the time because as I keep evolving and changing as a person, my branding keeps changing as well. So that's what it's all about. Yeah, great tutorials. The master classes are amazing.
Yeah,
They're free. They're on every fortnight. So this Thursday, 11 a.m. Queensland time, we've got another one, which is pretty cool.
No, they're amazing. You know, the entrepreneurs that they have from all around the world that, you know, you normally would have to like pay a lot of big dollars to listen to. We get it for nothing on the platform. So it's really amazing stuff there. And I love the easiness of the step-by-step process. When you do the launch your business aspect at the beginning, it just takes you through from like any beginner could just get on there that doesn't have any social media understanding at all and just learn. And if you just put them into action, voila, it's done. You're out there.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm always learning, like every week, every day I watch another masterclass. It's and we just do it in pockets of our time. So I get very busy sort of caring for a lot of frail parents. I'm, looking after my own health and wellness and just your everyday thing and running a business too. So, and we just fit this in pockets of our time. So we've got time to sit down, have a coffee. I usually do schedule in my day between 3 and 4 o'clock to do some training. And that's my quiet time. And that's what I call the non-negotiable time. That is my time that I make sure I sit down and I learn something new so that I keep evolving and changing and moving forward. And it's been the most incredible personal journey story, just learning it myself and sharing it as well.
Oh, incredible. And, just watching you grow from, like just in the small amount of time that I've known you, seriously even within the business side of it, like your confidence has gone through the roof. And that's the amazing thing, when you listen, because I have a Monday night huddle, and you're listening to people, just normal people out there that have had not even, 5 cents to rub together have gone into this business. And they're incredible stories of how they've come from being totally devastated world and struggles and now they're like so confident out there on social media and unapologetically themselves. And that's really what it is in the end. And, I know from the difference between, I'm not too bad out in social media, but, talking live, I'm not as confident and certainly haven't been doing too many like live streams or reels and that yet. That is on my agenda next. But, it's just the practice makes perfect, doesn't it? And I know that even between, as much as I'm a reasonably confident person, compared to Tanya, who's unapologetically herself and like doesn't really get into worrying about what other people think, just being herself authentically, honestly, with integrity and making it fun. And so, that's where I want to sort of head into my next part. But getting back to the branding, so it's about being really honest about who you are. And people can read through it if you're not. They can see through
and
that.
see the bullshit.
Yeah, well, that's right. If you're trying to become or put out something that somebody else has shown you, or even we'll show you Chat GPT in a minute, but when you're doing AI type of messages, it's like you've got to really get the AI stuff and then make it you. it's important to bring your energy into it, because people will be very appreciative of it. I get the right word. But you know, the interesting thing about starting, like when I did my first ever live stream, I think I was up at one of my farm sets, hardly any, you know, coverage up there. I'm sure it was all
That's pretty good, I think. Yeah.
but you know what? I'm just wishing that now I had kept that, because I didn't know I had to save it forever or do anything like that, and it got lost in the ethers. That was the biggest. I said in there that I didn't know what I was doing. It was my first live stream. Please, you know, apologizing to everybody. Please, you know, forgive me if it sounds terrible, but you know, I just felt like I needed to get out there and push through my fear to do it. And I don't know what else I talked about, probably rambled on about my fear more so than anything, about, you know, like when you show up, you give others permission to show up type of theory. And so I needed to do that, not only for myself, but my audience or my followers and friends on Facebook and on socials. And that was the biggest audience following that I had, and I think I had about 100 comments. I don't think I've ever had the same since. It was just amazing, and I was just,
because it's real. Yeah,
that's right, because I was vulnerable, and everybody felt me. You know, like they knew that's how they would feel, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to give that a go now. You do it, I can do it," and that's what it is all about branding and getting on social media and making a difference to other people's lives. But most of the time, people are probably more fearful about judgment. That's what most people are worried about. They're worried about, what will people think of me? What if they object? What if they give a negative feedback? What if they attack me? What, you know, everybody, I would think there was hardly anybody out there, unless they're really completely gotten over that hurdle, like Tanya probably. But I'm sure
everyone faces it. There's no doubt there. Everybody, we all go through it. Yeah.
So, you know, like I think in saying that, we call it objection handling. I think, is that what they call it on the Freedom Hill? And so I was going to get Tanya just to give a bit of a chat about that, because I think it's one thing that people do get frightened. So what do you do when someone does that? You know?
Yeah, there's actually a whole section on it.
You could, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and they do cover this off a lot in the masterclasses quite regularly around objection handling, because a lot of people will say, I don't have the time and I don't have the money. So if we just looked at two things, it's the most two common things are, I'll mention quite a few. And I always say to people, well, wouldn't you actually rather have something that's going to create that time freedom for you to have more time and to provide the money that you need? You know, like, well, I was talking to a coach yesterday. She said, I'm making really good money in my coaching business, but I don't have the money to start this. And I'm like, She said, my mortgage is so big, I can't afford to do that. And I went, so if we could cover your mortgage in one day in a sale, would that interest you? And she's like, what? And I said, so let's flip the conversation around. How much money could you make in a day? It's an uncapped income, so you can make whatever you like in a day. I think my biggest sale in one day was about 18 grand in one day. So It was, you know, a lot. And this is great, is having a business that can generate an uncapped income. So we love to handle objections. So putting a post on social media, actually highlighting the objections, brings that fear right out to the front of it. And people will read it. They go, oh my gosh, she's writing all this stuff, you know. And a lot of people say, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. And I always say, so then when they do that, I'll actually do a pyramid scheme post, or I'll do a live video on it and say, well, pyramid schemes are actually illegal. So, and here in Australia, it's actually a jailable offence. Do you think I would do something like that? And they go, no. And I said, so it's not a pyramid scheme. So and I say to them, do you know what a pyramid scheme is? And they go, no. So I said, you just accused me of doing something of a pyramid scheme and you don't even know what it is. How does that now make you feel? So sometimes it's really good just to do a talk on social media, and I don't care whether I have anybody on a live video. I just press the play button. I'll actually write the title and just start talking. And half the time I don't even know what I'm saying until I finish and press replay. And I go, oh, that didn't sound too bad. But it's just, I've got to get it off my chest because it pisses me off. And so it's overcoming that objection. So I love doing a post, quite regularly, or a live video talking about people saying pyramid schemes. And so a pyramid scheme is selling products and services that don't exist. And I nearly got caught up in one when I was probably 24. And it was actually mailing things and getting people to send $200, and all these people would mail you $200 and this sort of stuff. And I actually thought that's a great idea. And then I could end up with 20 grand. That's a pyramid scheme. So there are a lot of those crypto things. They're pyramid schemes because they're selling products and services that don't exist. So that Cash FX was one too, because where people said that they were, buying $300 and accumulating, but you couldn't take the money out.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever been able to take their money out. Most people have actually lost their money if they did put additional money in. So, and then if you went and actually did a search on the stock exchanges and platforms where they say they are trading, they are not trading. And the other companies say that we do have no association with these people whatsoever. So that usually, just do a little bit of due diligence when you sort of say pyramid scheme. If you hear about it, go and do a bit of research on it. So breaking that fear and the objection straight up front is really a good one. So multi-level marketing is another one, network marketing. So we definitely sit in the network marketing. We sit in the high-ticket affiliate marketing, and we sit in the direct selling industry. So it's good to really bust that out right out in front of them. And that's one of the first things people go, oh, it's MLM. Well, multi-level marketing is like, traditionally it's your isogenics, it's your Young Living, it's your doTERRA oils, it's your Tupperware, Nutrimetics, all that kind of stuff, because it requires people to continuously purchase a product for you to either stay in your rank or rank advance. So what we do, that doesn't exist at all, which is what we love about this so much, that you don't have to sell a product or a service like every month, and you don't de-rank in what we do or anything like that. Our income just keeps growing and keeps continuing. So it's learning different things. So it's really good to be able to break that fear and barrier. And, like social media, you can regurgitate this stuff once a month. And highly likely somebody who has been on my page for a long time may have actually never seen one of those posts either.
Yeah, that's right.
Because the big fear people say is when they say, can we do this? Or I couldn't do this. I'm not an entrepreneur. I said, well, neither was I. And neither were any of us.
No.
So an entrepreneur is just somebody who's willing to go to any length to succeed. And the formula that's in this academy has been designed to create success in the first 30 days. As long as you follow the structure, follow everything that they do, be coachable, and be willing to learn and change and grow for the better, not for the worse. And I always say, you're never going to break. You're just going to get better at everything that you do. And what if everything could change for you? So
yeah. No, it's pretty
possible.
amazing.
Yeah.
And like with people that say things, well, you can, again, you could just ignore it and not get, it's really good. Like, it's very growing for us actually to have rejection, because a lot of us are fearful of rejection or criticism or judgment. But sometimes you can practice letting it run off a duck's back type thing, like you start to go, oh, well, that's their opinion. That's okay. I can unapologetically just be myself. There's always going to be, half the audience. I remember Dr. John DeMartini saying this, that when he did a talk on stage, there'd be half the audience out there going, yeah, he really knows his stuff. He knows what he's doing and whatever else. And all for him. And the other half would be against it. And he said he used to go into the toilet before everyone got in there and shut himself in one of the cubicles and listen to everyone coming in from the audience. And some are going, yeah, he's amazing, isn't he? He's right on spot. And then the other ones were going, I don't know what the hell he's going on about, He doesn't like, they get really upset about what he's been saying. Then he'd go back out on stage afterwards and go, turn it completely, pivot what he'd said before into something else. And he said, you'd get the ones that were against you going, oh, well, see, now he's starting to make some sense. So and the others were like, what is he talking about? He's going, like, so there's always people in life that are going to be really for you, what you're saying, and there will always be people who are objecting or don't believe in what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, you look at all the biggest multimillionaires, the people that we know on TV, the biggest names people, they all started, like pretty much 99% of them all started like being drop out from school at year 10, had no money, just had a dream and knew that they had to do something, had to pursue something, just felt that inner urge and that kind of thing. And they've all built big brand names. And Oprah is a really good one for talking about that as well, whereas she's changed her branding a few times. You remember a couple of years ago she went to O instead of Oprah. Well, that just didn't work. So they found that by putting her name back to Oprah again is changed her branding back, because that is who she is. That's her name, not O. So it's really interesting how you can change, you can come back and you can work what works and what doesn't, and different things. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and so just do what you need to do. I mean, obviously, if there's strong objections, and we are always getting people from overseas or whatever. For us women, it's quite often men that are putting posts in, to be friends and to try to scam on us. So I just block them. I just go straight out and block them, because at the end of the day, you are weeding out the ones that are really your followers and team, people that really love you. Yeah, that know, love, like, and trust you. And that's what you're trying to do, is build a community around you that actually really, really trust in what you do, like what you do, and what you say, and they like who you are. So, they're the people you want. You don't really need those naysayers, because again, what happens is tall poppy syndrome, of course. As soon as you start to put yourself out there, you're always going to have those people that don't do that sort of stuff, or they've got major fear sitting underneath them inside, that they then want to, have a go at you about that. Oh, you're just trying to sell stuff all the time. Well, yeah, well, actually, if you're on Facebook, most of the time we're all selling ourselves all the time, no matter what.
So it's open 24 hours.
That's right. Well, I mean, we are walking around selling ourselves all the time. I think of that not just with a product, but with energy. Like transference of energy. We're doing it all the time. So don't get too caught up about that. There's always going to be that tall poppy syndrome, and you're always going to be getting the law of opposites happen quite often too. When you start to strive forward and grow and want to put yourself out there, you're going to get things that are going to challenge you. And the best thing is to take a deep breath, put your big girl panties on, and fire on past that fear. No, see, I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm going to keep moving forward.
I think just quickly want to touch base on, we're talking about branding and personal branding. One of the masters classes and a few of the ladies have been, like in our community, have been saying, some of us, even at our age, love the branding. So they might, follow like an all yellow coloured branding or all pink coloured branding, although every post might look, beautiful and amazing. I got taught all that too, but I just felt like I didn't need to be that. So we get to choose who we want to be and how we do want to brand ourselves. So I love branding myself now, just, as being myself. I love to, because I don't work, I live at home and I get to share what I do during the day. I get to talk about, gardening and things like that. So that's kind of formulates my branding. But the water business is now, that's where I've taken my branding to a whole new level this year. It was just something that came to mind. And I thought, what, I need to take this to the next level. And I was like, all right, sit down, do it. And off I went. So that's the great thing, is we are in control of all of it.
Yeah, that's right. We are. And, there'll be days when we have talked about this. There are days when, oh my God, I just can't face the computer. I can't face that. Well, just go with your feeling of that. Obviously it went on for weeks and weeks. Then, yes, there was a bit of an issue going on there.
We're talking about.
Sorry?
It's good to turn it off for a week.
Oh, well, that's right. It's okay. That's the thing. You've got to give yourself permission. And I'm very like that. I'm
Mm.
either all black or all white, so I tend to be like, oh my God, I've got about 5 posts done at 10 o'clock on Monday morning. And instead of scheduling them out,
Yeah,
I just put them all up at once. And then I don't do anything for another 3 or 4 days or something.
yeah,
But, like we have fits and starts. And so the great thing about, well, not so much branding, I guess this comes under, but scheduling, but, putting things and sorting them so that if you get a moment, then create it to be scheduled. And we'll talk a bit more about that next week. But
mm,
so how do you know where to start? This is really for beginners. I know we're going right back to the beginning, but it's like, what actually lights you up? What's your passions? And so hints around that is what you're driven towards. What do you surround yourself with at home? What audio books? What books do you read? And
mm,
what do you talk to people? And until the cows come home, you could just keep talking that subject to them. What do you like engaging with on other people's posts? What other people's posts do you like to read? And what content? So you're sort of sharing those parts of yourself, asking yourself those things. What are my interests? What is my conversations around?
mm,
What lifts my energy when I talk about it or I think about it? They're sort of clues about what you would post online. And so mine's all around health and well-being, raising consciousness, frequency, sound work, spiritual development, self-development stuff. That's my driven thing. My
mm.
niece Emma would be around environmental, eco-friendly. She's right into the cosmos and, doing time lapses of the star constellations and the auroras and all sorts of things, So she's like educating people about, you know, plastics and about eating meat and, so that's all her posts are sort of driven out there in the environment. So it's so easy when you start looking at your life on a little bit of a microscope about what is your thing. With
Mm.
Tanya, we all have a myriad of things in our life, experiences that we can share. And, Tanya's been a chef by trade. So, I love it when she gets up there and shows us some cooking that she's been doing. And
I've
she's
done
got,
it for a while.
she's
Yeah.
got Gary, like Gary's, I loved Gary was licking out of the glass his Kangen water the other day. So gorgeous.
He did it again tonight. Cheeky bugger.
So, and obviously the water and teaching people about drinking conscious water, that's for our health and well-being. So yeah, I love products that raise our frequency, and I believe, water is the basis of who we are. So, like obviously we
Mm.
need to bring it up as high a vibration and frequency as we can for our
Yes.
body to run perfectly well. But so what is yours? What is your passion? What is it that you thrive on that you want to share with others? Because I know people that might be listening are like, oh, well, I don't really want to share. I just go on. And what is it that most people can be social media consumers, but we want to be creatives. And the reason we would want to be creative, yes, if we've got a business that we're trying to get across to people, but really, again, I believe it's at the core of us being of service, and we have this great vehicle called social media that we can actually do that and help so many. You don't know whose life you're going to save or that you're going to change or shift by just showing up yourself, being willing to do that and share your stories. It's an incredible, powerful, compassionate, and loving thing to do. So just give some thought about that.
Mm.
An interesting thing is that how this can really take off. There's one girl on whom is a local down here. She is her family. My niece would say this. She is the perfect family. they are the perfect family. They were when she was growing up, went to school with her, and she said now she's got her own family and she's perfect as well. And they are, her children are, her husband is, their business is. But before they had children, they were traveling around in a combi van, and you may have seen her on there, and she's gorgeous looking, blonde, long hair, out on the beaches, wears a lot of boho clothing, and a really, done up green and white combi van that they were traveling around in. All became such a strong branding for her because of those beautiful colors and her way she dressed and the combi van and the surf life and all that sort of stuff, that she was approached by a company who wanted to dress her in their boho clothes. And so now she has her Instagram following is also her clothing brand as well, that she's selling on behalf of them. So it can take off. Your branding can actually really take off if you do it well. And really, it's as quick as taking some photos. That's as quick as it is. Take some photos of yourself wherever you're going. Selfies. I did one today while I was up at Fred's Eatery in Aldgate. Me having a coffee, me eating this beautiful meal, me having the great life. So everybody loves seeing those pictures of us, really. So you don't have to be professional photographer or anything. Obviously, down the track, it might be nice to do that. You don't have to. You're just sharing you and your life. So, Tanya would do, but she does that a lot. You're always sharing photos of when you're out and about and, what you're doing at home and doing video.
I think one of the things that what we got taught also in the training in there is with the photos is actually when we do write a story, is the reason why we take a lot of photos. My husband downloads them on my computer quite regularly because I have a lot. I don't take them particularly for anything, but it's just that another time I'm going to write a compelling story, that I'm just looking for that right photo. And so when you go and find the photo to match the story, the photo then really resonates with the story. So it's taking things just to the next level, a little bit different to what you would normally think. So that creates that kind of story. So, yeah.
And what was interesting when I was up 10 years, probably, it must have been actually last winter, and you'll see a lot of them because I'm wearing the same jeans and white top and everything. And she just took some photos for me up against, in a lounge room of me going,
Yeah. Just
all these different things. I have used them because I'm able to take the background out in Canva and I can just put it into a post, to a picture and an image and some text. And I don't know how often I've used those since. And that was just a few shots. It wasn't any great photography, lighting or anything like that. And that come in so handy. So that's what we're going to talk about next, is that specific brand and logos and colors that you can use on literature and posts. Obviously, in stories on Facebook and Instagram and all that sort of stuff, you can actually do the reels and things within their platform and put text and music and everything. So a lot of people sort of know and understand that. But it's not that hard to do, really. You don't even have to learn it. You just got to put it up there and then you just add it. You can't so much do that on a computer, but you can on your phone. They make it available more with music and titles and stuff like that on the actual mobile phones, but not on your computer. And so, you set your pages up, and like people can recognize brand colors. We were talking about that before. I'm just going to bring up, excuse me, I've got so many things in front of me here blocking off what I'm going to share. Let's see if I can find it. That's that. I don't know whether that is it. I don't think it is. Hang on. Let me just go out of here. So you might want to just talk while I'm getting that out.
I'm trying to find a live video that we're talking about. I might just show you a little bit about Chat GPT. That's
and Chat GPT is another great way if you don't know what words to say in posts.
Yeah. So when I'm just like the worst writer on the planet. And so my husband always says to me, if I look at all the different stories I've written down here, we'll write them in a Word document, and then I come in. So how you use ChatGPT is you can say, hey, ChatGPT, I'm writing a Facebook post for 70-year-olds that need to generate income that lost their superannuation during COVID. What are the points that would hit their interest? So, you can see I don't even write that very well, but then it comes up with all of these things on here. So you can then just come in and, choose different things in here. So you can copy and paste it out, or you could use just like part of this one, could be just your content topic to start it on Facebook. So you could just copy that out and then start your post on it. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. I think I can't find the one we did, but there was one that we were looking at about 120 different conversation topics on here. So one of the things that you can write different things in here. You can say, different conversations on it. You can ask it to reword it. But what you do is at the start is actually start feeding it the information that would be relevant that you would normally talk to. So it becomes your friend. So you would ask this how to write how I would say it. So it starts writing things the way I would say it. And you can see ChatGPT will often put all the emojis in it. You can then come back in here and you can re-customize this chat and just say, can you please rewrite it without any emojis or hashtags? Or to change it a little bit. So you can ask it to rewrite it or reword it several times, and it will just keep changing it for you. So you could actually write a book. You could say, can you write a 500-word book on affiliate marketing for women? So you could say, and this is, I think I wrote something there, and then it's just come through and actually, I've put 2 sections of it together, and then it's come here. We've refined the version of your post, and it's written it all out for me. So for me, I love it because my grammar's terrible, my spelling's terrible, and at least I don't have to worry about how bad I might look on social media. And I know my husband often says, oh, babe, that post looked terrible, or read terrible, or grammar's terrible. Look at all the spelling mistakes. I'm like, oh. So ChatGPT is a bit of a lifesaver, especially for people if you worry about that. So it didn't matter what I used to do. So yeah.
Yeah, I know it's amazing, and I use it quite a bit, but I probably haven't completely set it up perfectly. So I might have to get with you, Tanya, one day and make sure I get that done a bit better. But talking about Canva, obviously, Canva here is it's free. You can do it free. It's an amazing platform. You can do designs. I'll just go back home here. So I spend I spend a lot of time on my posts. I love it. So you've got along here, you've got your whiteboard, Facebook landscape, Instagram posts, flyers, stories. So you can just click on one of them. You can see here that I've done a story on one of them. You just have to change them around, move them around a bit to suit. But, say this one that I've done, you can create your own templates. There's different templates that you can choose. Summer, blue, pink, food, whatever it is. You can go through templates and go through photos, different photos that they offer. It's just got such an amazing way of being able to create an image and put whatever text you want on it. And so it's taking a while to load up. So this is the one I did for tonight's. And so I just found a picture, which was this. And I've created a text box, and you can change all your fonts and sizes and colors. But there's also a brand section here. So I've got a logo. You can choose different logos and put the name of what sort of logo you want, and it'll have a whole wad. And of course, these are all copyright approved, so you can use them. But like if I wanted this color, it just changes it for me. And so a lot of people have their own color scheme that they like to use. I'm a bit like Tanya. I just like to have lots of different colors. And you can go back to where it was, the back key. There's different fonts. So you can create your own brand within the graphics, so that when it comes up, it's all the same graphics, all the same coloring and all that sort of stuff. So, it does look nice if it, because people could then just look on your page and wouldn't even need to know it was you, and they know from what the pictures and the colors and everything are, because it's you. But this is my logo that I did. And that was off of them. I just created that. But yeah, you can just use all sorts of things in Canva. It is about $165 a year for the pro version, and that just gives you a lot more different things to utilize on there, of course, or $17 a month. You can pay it for that. If you want to professionalize up. I use mine all the time, so it is worth it for me. Yeah, so I've done a lot of my videos in my YouTube channel for my backing of my music. I have done off of Canva. I've used their videos. So you can use all sorts of things on there. There's apps you add in, audio, projects, all sorts of things. It's quite incredible app to use.
Yeah, it's easy app to use too.
Absolutely. So, yeah. And it's like, did you know, reading this off, that these days, with so much online saturated noise, that a person needs to really see your post at least 18 times before they actually reach out to you. So
yeah,
it's incredible. So you can't really overdo your posts. We know that it's only reaching a certain percentage really of that audience because of whoever's on at the time.
Exactly. Yeah, on average, so for 100 people, you put a post up and you only had 100 on your page, probably only 5, maximum 10% of people are going to see that post. So it's not a huge amount. So I got to love my dad. My dad says, so if I put a post on my page, will the whole world see it? And I'm like, no, Dad, just your family that are on there. It makes me laugh because he thinks if he could put a post about his woodwork on there, the world would see it. I said, no.
Well, we'd like that, wouldn't we? That'd save me doing a lot of those Canva posts.
Oh, no. So,
and the other thing, which, like we were talking about before, because obviously I always type out my notes and I don't have 2 screens that I can sort of watch a Word document on either, but there's such apps called teleprompters, which actually put it up on the screen and roll down, a bit like the teleprompters they would have for TV, where the people are reading off the teleprompter in front of them. Well, we have them that actually come on our screen and roll down as we're talking. And so, it can keep you on board. So if you're worried about doing videos and things like that, it may not work so well for sharing on a Zoom or something because you're sharing pages and stuff. I'm not really sure about that. Haven't looked into it. But, when you're first starting out doing your own live streams and stuff like that, would be really perfect because it would just keep you on track. I have the notes and then I go crazily all over the place and I lose my way, right? So, but that's okay. I don't mind because I'm allowed to make mistakes as I'm human. And so, if you really do want to stand out, then really doing the live streams are really popular. People do like to do, the reels have really taken off, and sharing videos. So you can do a video and then put it up in, stages and cut and edit it. I use a video editor through a bigger one called Filmora. And I do that for these that we're doing at the moment. I put music at the beginning and I put some titles on it and ending titles. Just to make it a bit more professional, and to put it up on YouTube so you can watch all of the masterclasses we've done on YouTube. Plug. And you can watch all my sacred music that I've spent hours and hours putting together for your enjoyment for nothing. So yeah, please go on there and have a look at the ones that we've done before. And the other thing is consistency with your posts, because really, at the end of the day, if you're doing it like a couple here and another couple in a month, then you're not going to get people to know, like, love, and trust you. They're not going to get to understand who you're about. So just making sure that you try to do it a few times a week at least when you're starting out. Just do it 2 or 3 times a week. But make them utilize like your stories, behind the scenes. And make it fun, be vulnerable, try not to be perfect. People don't like perfect, really. Whatever you're doing in your day-to-day, so let people, know what you're up to. And storytelling can be longer posts, which, I did one I think it was a couple of days ago. I put a longer post up about my day and about my life. So, they're interesting. People sometimes like to read your stories. And the art of storytelling is also another one that could be just a whole web masterclass about, because, there's so many skills to doing great storytelling. Who was I talking about the other day, Tanya, off the academy that I love? His name.
Neighbor Buffy.
The storytelling guy.
Tariq.
Tariq. He's amazing at telling stories, and he does do stuff on the academy as well, where he shows you and gives you lessons on how to become a great storyteller. And it's amazing to read some of his posts. So
there's so much training in there, isn't there?
There's so much training in there. It's incredible. I can't keep up really. But it's really.
I have trouble keeping up. It's very rare that anybody actually ever gets through it in a year.
Yeah, that's it.
There's that much, and it's like Christmas. There's always stuff going on. So you choose what you need and what you want, what you do and what you don't want to do. And
yeah.
So I'm not really big into Instagram. I like just playing on Facebook. So I don't like TikTok, so I don't go and do the TikTok training and stuff like that.
And you do find what you love. I'm more Facebook because it's where I started. I do throw things over onto Instagram, because we know Facebook really likes things to do with our face. They like to see us in action doing things, whereas Instagram doesn't mind doing things with text all over them and printed stuff. Whereas Facebook, your algorithms are better when you've got actually pictures of your stories of your life and you in the pictures. That's why it's called Facebook. So I think you do better when you get that more personalized approach to Facebook. So yeah, you're really sort of taking people on a journey with you when you're doing your posts. So you're wanting to inspire and educate, as I said before, and we've got all really strong pockets of wisdom within us that if we really sat down and thought about it, we've got so much knowledge that we could share. And you don't have to go straight out onto videos, but just putting some posts up with inspiring stuff, motivating, helping people to give them permission to dream.
Yeah. Sharing things. It's not about verbal garbage. It's just about educating the audience, and it can be educating them on all sorts of things. So yeah.
So we want to take them on a transformational experience, really. And so that they can focus on providing experience for their audience too, because when they watch yours, they get ideas, and that's what we're all like, we share and share alike. So you can have different mixing styles of that you share with your audience. It could be a poll or a question, like if I was to give you 10K this week, what would you spend it on? That gets, you get a lot of interaction with people. And when you interact with them back, obviously the algorithms go back up, and also messaging makes that happen as well. So there's lots of tricks and trades that I have learned to improve on my posts from being in the academy as well. And so you could do quotes, do an inspiration post, fun facts. I've got my list here actually of things that the academy had. Welcome intro, share a quote, value post, which could be, your morning habits that you're doing, just your day-to-day stuff that you're doing. It's like, if you think about, so I did a post today about me going out and like, I'm enjoying my life. Look what I'm getting to do today. It's so much fun to be able to do that. And I'm getting better at being able to do that because I've signed up for an online business. So that helps me to have that time freedom. It's so easy to really talk about anything really in your life. So it could be a life experience where you've had a struggle or you've had challenges in your life. Hang on, I'll go back. Value post. But before I get into that, origin story about, where you come from, engagement, Samsung versus iPhone, ? Who likes what? So you're just getting people involved in that, connecting on an emotional level with people. about how they're feeling now and about their emotions, what they're scared and nervous about. Conversation starters, like what's your favorite documentary? There's so many ways of getting to know your audience, asking them questions about them. What do they like? What's their zodiac sign? Explain, blah, blah. Like I quite often put them up, and I quite like what people say about what did you learn about yourself in this last year so far. I did that the other day, and yeah, I find that because I get to know my audience too, and that's important because we're friends. We want to get to know these people. We don't want to just be distant, liking them, friending them, and not knowing who they are. Some fun facts, spark a trip down memory lane, which I'm going to put up tomorrow because somebody, I think it was Annie, put something up about, a past thing. Well, I was at an era of plug-in cord switchboard. That was my first job. And now look how far technology has come from a plug-in cord switchboard. Most people want to hear from it. Know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to put a post up about that because, just in my short lifespan, wow, has technology taken on. So, it's about sharing all sorts of things, educational, motivational, addressing people's pain points and giving them solutions to those. That's really, really helpful, which is what we do with our products and stuff, because at the end of the day, we're wanting to help people become healthy, maintain wellness. So, drinking the Kangen water is one of those ways of doing it, utilizing the healing device, frequency device. They're all things that I do and I love because they help other people feel better in their life, in their body. So the other thing is, which is really engaging, is talking about your experiences, challenges and struggles you've had in life. And I know like Tanya has had some major ones. We all have. We've all had some sort of loss, grief, skills, talents, knowledge, qualifications, passions, all those things come in amongst it. Mine was sort of jumping out of my police job into nowhere land and still landing and still surviving and thriving right till now. So that's, my story, and nearly dying of typhoid and septicemia a few years ago. And, Tanya's was about all of her injuries that she had. You had a big story about that, didn't you, Tanya?
Yeah. Yeah, very big story. So yeah, and I just share all the ways that people can help overcome it. So yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's about helping people out there. So if you've got some sort of struggle that you've overcome, because it's really that, I think that's what the magic is about, actually, having these struggles in life, and we all do. And I believe that our soul comes down here for us to be sort of pushed and challenged towards that, and then we sort of work our way of overcoming it and riding over that hurdle. And it's not until we get to the other side of it that we realize what things we put in place that made the difference. And sometimes we can reflect back and see why we got that or why we had that situation come up. It's like there was some very clear message and growth that we got from it, and we're stronger, more courageous, and learnt better habits along the way. And that's when you can help other people. I don't know, one of them is like depression, isn't it? It's really difficult while you're in there and you feel like there's never any way out. But when you've had those sorts of struggles, you then know how to communicate that for others, because you can then be the teacher and the helper for those people. And that's a beautiful thing in my books. I think that's an incredible way to be able to have gone through a challenge and help other people with that. So just be you, perfectly, unapologetically you, and enjoy. Make it fun. That's the thing. Don't make it a heavy, oh my God, what will people think? Well, they might think things, but at the end of the day, you'll grow, you'll become stronger, you'll become more confident in yourself. And another thing that trips in is pride. You feel proud of yourself because you've overcome a fear. You've lent into the fear and you've done something with it. So if you've
And
got,
you'll change your life, but you also change the life of somebody else too.
that's exactly right. And that's the most powerful part of it, really. It's a gift. So, so I hope you've enjoyed that. I don't know whether you want to add anything more, Tanya.
No, I think we've covered it all off for sure. Yeah.
So remember, you can't get it wrong.
No.
You just can't. And if you do a live stream, then delete it. And if you don't like it, like at the end of the day, or just go, you know what, lesson learned. Be interesting to see what people think. You might be surprised like me and have 400 comments, all good ones. And, it gave me the encouragement to go on and do more. So, that's the whole thing about it. So branding is you. And so, share those things with other people. And the more you do it, the more confident you become. And you start to see something change. I think, we've talked about this just recently, Tanya, about noticing people that started out and you were watching them, and all of a sudden now, oh my God, they're so confident.
Such a different person for sure. Yeah.
An absolutely different person. So yeah, feel that fear and do it anyway. I didn't know whether there was any task really for this week. Maybe, well, definitely put up a post this week about yourself. Go on to Canva and play around there and put, some picture. I didn't show you one thing on Canva is that you can actually, those pictures that Tanya took of me, I had curtains and things in the background, but there's a dissolve. You can edit the actual photo once you put it up and dissolve, and it takes all the background out of it. Hallelujah. How amazing is that? And so you can just have yourself going like that. The background's all gone, and then you've got your text over the top. It's incredible. So have a play with Canva. And like I say, it's free. You can go in on a free version. So go in and have a play with it. And if you've listened to this, tag us in there into your post and go, we watched your video and here's our first post, or one of our experimental posts. And and enjoy, have fun. So thank you very much, Tanya, for being a part of it with me. Tanya's going away soon, so the next two will be me.
Yeah, you'll be awesome. Be good to hear your next couple of sessions for sure.
Yeah, so the next couple of sessions, well, first of all, I do a Reset Your Life program, which I've been running for a few years. It is a one-on-one mentoring coaching program with me. And I can do it online with people, but I like to do it in person. So, you've got somebody keeping you accountable in the background there, but we do 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours every week. And excuse me, I swallowed something back in my throat. And so, so the next couple of sessions will be like PowerPoint presentations of what I've shared on those online ones or in person. And it's about time management, because really part of the 6 weeks to success is a crucial part of it, is scheduling, time management, because if you don't have those things, then it makes it really difficult to move ahead because you're sort of scattered and all over the place. A bit about future goal planning and manifesting, the art of manifesting, because that's a real incredible thing to start to put in action. And so we'll be talking about that next week, or I will be talking about that next week with you all. And then after that, we will be doing one on balance, because life balance is a huge part of success as well. So I look forward to sharing that with you. Have a look on YouTube for all the replays on the conscious water, the Kangen water, the freedom mirror, which we did last week. And the first one we did was about mindset. So look forward to sharing with you all. And I hope you have a wonderful life. And the other thing I just want to put in at the end is that catchphrases. That's another way of branding. So when people open up, or they close, shine your light, become the best version of yourself, and I want to see you all shining your light. You might say that, something like that, at the end of every session you do. And I noticed, Tanya, you've been saying on your little videos, howdy ho.
Howdy ho.
Yeah, you've been saying that at the beginning. I noticed it's become howdy ho. It's become the beginning of all your videos. But people get to know who you
I don't
are.
know where that comes from.
I don't know where that comes from.
It comes out.
I know, but you know, like it's those things at beginning and end that you finish off with. It's like, hi tribe, or hello you beautiful souls. Whatever you start, you can start also creating a brand about how you begin and end your talks. So shine your light, everybody.